All right, everyone, thank you for joining us for our post-game press conference. We're going to have Julie Doyle, Erika Tymrak, and Seb Hines. If you have a question, please use the raise hand button. Julie, just to get things started, how did it feel scoring your first professional goal today?
It was unbelievable, but I have to give credit to Carrie Bello and Maggie. They put in the work, and Seb had been telling me all week to get in the width of the goal, so I just ran there, and Maggie played a great ball, and I was just there to finish it, but it felt amazing.
Austin, I'll open your line.
Thanks, Jackie, and a good congratulations to you, Julie. I think 2 weeks ago, I was literally talking to you about like what needs to change within the final third for you to find that scoring touch. And I think you said something along the lines of getting your shot off quicker and getting more experience. How much, just playing has helped you kind of understand the nuances of the game more. And like you said, finding the spaces within the width of the goal, but also within that kind of play, just kind of getting your shot off in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it right on the spot. I've been telling myself this entire week, just quick release. And then also getting in the practice with Maggie and Erika, I feel like just playing with them in practice and knowing that Maggie's going to play in that space and her knowing that I'm going to be there. And then it just showing in the game like you guys saw. I just think the more that we can play, the more that we'll get to know each other and the chemistry and all that good stuff.
Yeah, kind of going off of that with Maggie and Erika, like 2 weeks ago against Washington, I asked you about them and you said, well, I haven't really gotten to play much with them. But you were looking forward to kind of learning from them. How much of this game, they both have assists in this game, how much of this game kind of impacted that cohesion within the group, but especially for you, just kind of propelling you guys forward a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, even before the game, I had both of them encouraging me like, hey, I'm really excited for you to start. I'm really excited to play with you. And that in itself just gives me a lot of confidence going out there before the game. But yeah, like I said a couple weeks ago, it's just really nice to play with similar soccer-minded players like them. And I feel like they're very smart tactically, and they know that I like to make those runs in behind defenders, and they know how to play it. So yeah, it's been really fun to play with them, and I'm excited for the future.
Walk me through what happened on that goal, because it was seconds after kickoff into the second half. Just kind of walk me through from your vantage point what you saw.
Oh man, honestly, I told Carrie after the game, I was like, I need to watch that back because I literally blacked out. But I just remember Carrie Bello and Maggie doing something, winning the ball, working hard. And then I knew that it popped out to Maggie, and I had to make that run that Seb kept getting on me this week for, be in the width of the goal. So I just got there, and it came right to me, and I hit it left foot, and I think I got a Charlie horse on the right side of my leg, but it went in.
Did you have any like celebration planned or anything like that, or just kind of lost in the moment?
No, I just like felt a rush of adrenaline. It's like, that's like the best part about playing soccer is like scoring a goal. But I just love running to the player that gave me the ball, because without them, there wouldn't have been a goal. So.
So kind of looking at the rest of the game, I know you came off in the like 58th minute, but right as you guys scored that goal to open up the second half, things kind of shift. What did you see from your perspective in terms of the way the game changed after they conceded that early goal in the second half?
When I was off.
When you first did you come off right after the goal?
I don't even remember. I'm so sorry if I was in for the first goal conceded or not.
Right. That's what I was kind of going with, just in terms of what you saw from how things changed from after you guys scored that second goal.
Yeah, I think Kansas City, they realized that they needed to pick up their level, and we had 2 goals up, so I think we kind of let off the gas, where in that moment, like a big 5, I don't know if it was within the 5 minutes, but like we need to like be locked in. And something that Seb said at halftime is we're gonna win this game, if we stay locked in, I forget his word, it was like concentrate, that was the word. I feel like we just kind of lost that concentration. I feel like if we would have had that concentration, then we could have pulled out a win today. So we're pretty disappointed, but I'm excited for us going forward.
We'll go to Dan Marriage.
Hi, Julie. Thanks for your time. Congratulations on the goal.
Thank you.
Over recent weeks, obviously, it's 4 games unbeaten now. You seem to, as a team, have made yourselves really difficult to beat. And I know, obviously, you'll probably be slightly disappointed at having conceded the 2-goal lead today. But I just wondered what's changed for you guys. Like, is it like a mental thing, or is it like a tactical thing that just seems to have made you so compact, even to the point where it got back to 2-2 today, but you still made sure you got at least a draw?
Yeah, I feel like this team, like we're all super talented players. It's just a matter of being together on everything, practice, being together, during the games, being together. So I think it is more of a mentality thing. And I think we're starting to be more of a family. I know that sounds kind of funny, but it is true. Like off the field, we're just lighthearted and more together. And I think it's showing on the field. Like we're working for each other, we're throwing in tackles for each other. And yeah, I just think it's coming together, the chemistry.
Oh, that's it for me. Thank you.
And we'll go back to Austin for our last one.
Julie, just kind of in the grand scheme of things, like Dan was saying, 4 games unbeaten now. The things are starting to kind of come together. The last game we talked about the offensive inconsistency, but this game within that second half, kind of the defensive inconsistencies, especially with long balls over top, which has been something that popped up every so often within this team this year. How has it been just kind of pushing that focus towards the offensive end, especially for you as an offensive player, but then kind of losing a bit defensively? And how do you kind of balance those two out?
Yeah, well, I think it's not just the back line, obviously, it's the team as a whole defensively. So it's not that we blame the back line. I think putting, like as a forward, if I were putting more pressure on the opponent's back line so that they can't serve that long ball. It's dropping early so that we don't have it go over our heads. So I think everyone has a little bit of something that they can do better in an area collectively. And once we can do that, we'll be unstoppable.
All right, thank you, Julie.
Thank you, guys.
All right, everyone, we're gonna move on to Erika Tymrak. Erika, just to get things started, what are your overall thoughts on the game today?
I think all of us are pretty disappointed. We really wanted that 3 points, especially as we push for playoffs. I think there are positives that we can take away from it. 2 goals on the road and a point, but I don't think any of us are happy with that.
We'll go to Austin.
Erika, kind of going off of that with the disappointment, despite the loss of the win, you guys finished the month unbeaten. Considering how things were going up until this month with everything kind of going on behind the scenes, do you kind of take this month as a positive trajectory, kind of a building block into the final 9 games of the season?
Yeah, definitely. But I also think that Seb and Giles and Eddie have set these standards for us now where, a tie is not good enough. So like, yes, I agree. We've improved a lot and we're starting to kind of mold into our identity and being more comfortable on the ball and gaining more chemistry as a team. But our practices are tough. We put in the work and we're hungry for 3 points. So while it is, a positive step, we want more.
Kind of looking at that second half, you guys score very early on off defensive miscue, and then things kind of shift. What did you see from Kansas City within that second half where you guys kind of got pinned back within your defensive third?
Yeah, they were hungry. They're a great team, and they've had a lot of momentum. So they definitely came out hungrier than we were. We probably got a little complacent, but I think there's a lot of things we can take away from this game, and things we can learn moving forward.
Do you feel like that kind of leads into a very young team for you guys? Like, a lot of players on this roster haven't necessarily had those experiences. For you as kind of a veteran of this league that have kind of gone through trials and tribulations, ups and downs, and having those 2-goal leads, do you feel like that's something that you as a leader kind of have to employ to the rest of the team and kind of help them learn through these kind of growing pains?
Yeah, of course, as a vet, I'm always going to take responsibility for that. But at the same time, I do think, the only way to learn from it is to go through it. I had plenty of those games as rookies, and I mean, I'm still a 10-year vet and they still happen. So I think that the only way you learn from it is to experience it, and hoping moving forward, we don't give up a 2-0 lead again. And I think it's about coming together as a team. And if they change formations, we have to adapt and we have to read the game. And we kind of let ourselves down with that one tonight.
If you can, just kind of walk me through that goal in the 25th minute, what you saw in the box, and just kind of picking out Celia in that moment.
Yeah, I found myself on the left side, which Seb kind of tells us to be fluid. So I was kind of on the left side, and I think I was passing with Bello and Maggie, and I took a look up and I saw Celia running the box. So I kind of just whipped it in, and her finish was unreal, and it definitely silenced the crowd.
We're gonna go to Dan Barrich.
Hi, Erika. Thanks for your time. You've been part of a pretty consistent midfield unit over recent weeks. I'm just wondering how you're finding playing with that, and how you guys are working to develop that chemistry, because it seems to be working really well at the minute.
Yeah, Seb likes us to play possession style. He likes us to be comfortable on the ball, and our trainings have been hard, but we've gotten so many touches in. And I think just as we progress as a team, we're going to get more and more comfortable. And yeah, I attribute it to the last few weeks we've been grinding and just playing a ton. It's been crazy hot in Florida, but we've been grinding and not only putting in the work, but just trying to get as many touches as soon as we can. And hopefully it shows more and more where we can keep the ball more in the midfield and then finish our chances when we get them.
Thank you. That's it from me.
And back to Austin for our final one.
Erika, I just kind of wanted to get your overall thoughts on Kansas City. Obviously, you played there for a number of years with the previous iteration of the team in Kansas City, but kind of being back here playing in the Sporting Kansas City, the MLS stadium, how do you feel that the city of Kansas City in terms of women's soccer has kind of progressed since you played here last back in 2017?
I mean, I started out my career here and we played on a football field with football lines, which was interesting. So to go from that to playing at Children's Mercy Park is pretty crazy. And I mean, I think there was 8,000 fans tonight. So I think women's soccer is growing big time in Kansas City. It was kind of a full circle moment for me because I started, as a rookie here and I played here for 5 years. And it was just cool to come back and see how much Kansas City has really grown as a community and getting behind women's soccer. So it was cool and, hoping just see more of this in the future.
Thank you, Erika.
Thank you guys.
All right, we're gonna wrap up this evening with Seb Hines. As always, you guys know the deal, raise your hand. Seb, can you get us started with your overall thoughts on the game today?
Disappointed because we put ourselves in a great position to win the game. We knew how important this game was, as Kansas are in playoff position and we're chasing to get into them playoff positions. And we said before the game that we want to walk away from here with 3 points. So that, I can't fault the players' effort. They put everything into it. They're disappointed as well. So overall, really pleased with the first half. Took it to Kansas, who are on good form right now. I think, now they're unbeaten in 8. Got our goal, started the second half extremely well, got another goal. And I think the evolution of us would be to, when we are up in games, to weather storms, and when the opponent starts pushing, more players forward? Can we get ourselves out of them situations where we can, defend effectively and attack with, penetration passes and play our style of play, even though the emphasis is on them to try and get an equalizer and get back into the game.
We will go to Austin.
Hey Seb, kind of going in that moment of the first half to the second half, after that second goal was scored, what did you see from both sides, from your side and Kansas City's, to kind of flip the script within that second half, and what did you kind of tell your team within that those moments to kind of change?
So one thing we saw is that they changed shape. They changed some personnel, and we have to be better in them situations when the opponent changes shape, and we have to analyze that quicker. Our press can change when teams change formation, and we have to be prepared with their moments. So I think that was one thing that we will reflect on. Obviously, it's not too often we've been in situations where we're leading by 2 goals, and the scenario changes. They push more players forward, and they're trying to get back into the game. So it's understanding roles and responsibilities. We're going to review it as always, and we have to move on from it. The difference is that they goals change games. So they got a goal, we got back into it, and momentum changed. So it happens in games, it happens in football matches, and it's something that we need to work on if we want to move forward and get to be a winning team, a championship contender team.
Kind of looking at the way that Kansas City was getting a lot of those chances, it was just lofting balls over top, letting players run, and then your defense was having to shift back to try and cover. There have been some games within this season where those long balls over top have kind of killed the defensive line. What does the defense, for your perspective, kind of need to change to limit those opportunities that players are getting with just those balls over top and letting them run?
I think one is just judging the flight of the ball. Last 2 games, Washington were very direct. Kansas were very direct. I think that's a compliment to us because we're starting to press effectively. And it's just been aware of their directness. AD French can kick it as far as anyone I know. And it's just judging and getting the distances right so the ball isn't getting in behind our back line too often. Again, it's something that we need to work on. We don't play that way, so you can only influence the opponent so much, but we have to prepare ourselves for other teams, and having gone through the last 2 games, we have to start working on them principles as well.
From your perspective, what did you see on that second goal that Kansas City scored? Because it looked like there was a moment where the defense was caught out in 2 minds, and then Aaron was caught out in 2 minds. Just kind of, what was your perspective on that?
It was a long ball over the top, and it was indecision, and she put it away.
We'll go to Dan Barrage.
Hi Seb, thanks for your time. Just kind of going off of Austin's previous question, but kind of taking it over to the first goal, there seemed to be a lot of trepidation and indecision in terms of getting to Bennett before she applied the finish. I just kind of wondered what your view on that situation was.
Like I said earlier, they changed shape, they changed formation, and we have to adapt to how we press effectively in their moments. It was a domino effect, which allowed Bennett to get in behind and drive out our centre back. So we're creating a learning environment where we can be adaptable and making decisions on the field, and that's ultimately what happened. They changed formation, responsibilities changed with that as well. So again, we'll go through it in video, and it's been adaptable in their moments.
Last one to Austin.
Seb, with the last couple games, you've been finding goals from kind of more unlikely sources. Your fullbacks have been very involved in the goal production. You know, you have a goal from Kylie in the Louisville match. She affects the play in the Houston match, and then you have Celia score today. Just kind of talk about the all-in buy-in from this team in terms of the offensive production, not just relying on the players up front, but having players that are coming from behind and providing offensive contributions.
I think I said it in one of my post-match interviews that we have to find goals from other sources. We can't just rely on our forwards to score goals. So, like you said, Kylie's pinched in with a couple of goals. Celia gambles, is a great ball from Erika into a really good area, and Celia goes and attacks it, and before you know it, you 1-0 up. So we can't just put pressure on our forwards to score goals. We have to find other areas and positions to complement them players as well. I'm really happy for Julie Doyle as well. You know, getting in the width of the goal, Abello being aggressive, and you know, there was no lost cause in that moment. She put her foot in where, you know, it can hurt. It's a great read from Maggie and a great delivery from Maggie for Julie to score. So we're getting in good positions. We said this after the Washington game. We're getting good areas of the field to have high percentage shots and chances, and today we put them away. So we can be better. We can still create more opportunities to score from other areas as well. But you know, the players are bought into what we're trying to do. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of hard work on the training field, and they're giving it back in the game. So all the compliments go to the players, because you know, they've been outstanding for us, and we just want to continue to do that all the way to the last game of the season, and then we'll see where we finish. You know, at the end of play Seattle last game of the season, so we'll see where we are at in the standings.
All right, thank you, Seb. Thank you for everyone for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.